And a good Friday afternoon to you. Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights. This weather video driven by 802cars.com. It represents 802 Toyota, Twin Cities Subaru, and 802 Honda, all located off of exit 7 on Interstate 89. Here's our storm system. Here's the culprit. Here's the precipitation in the form of rain. A little bit of snow on its back end. And we got a lot of warm temperatures being advected and warm air advection heading northbound. Looking at absolute precipitation, you can see that generally we have rain. And then also we have snow here. This area of low pressure is going to head basically for the Great Lakes and then turn a corner and then head east. Eventually this back end stuff will be here on Sunday late in the day into Sunday night. It looks like it's good probably along the western slopes of the Green Mountains and seeing something like 2 to 4 inches and maybe 1 to 3 inches. Some of that carries over into northern and eastern parts of Vermont. But for the most part, we're going to kind of work with this band here that's going to be narrowing out as it approaches New England. Right now it's a ridge of higher pressure is still in control, which is high cloudiness. Let's take a look at the latest computer modeling. Looking at the east now and depicted here with the European model. This is valid at 1 o'clock this afternoon. So running the computer model, we can see when the precipitation begins to form different types of precipitation, and we're seeing a little bit of just a sort of incoming there of some very light minor wet snow. This is by about 4 o'clock on Saturday. This would be 7 o'clock in the evening on Saturday evening. Starting to see that precipitation overspread all of the region. A little bit heavier snowfall starting to take place in the southern Green Mountains, and we'll zoom in on this with the next shot. But in the meanwhile, you can kind of see that it's just one big band here. And that band then moves on out. This is valid about 4 o'clock in the morning on Sunday morning. That's 7 o'clock a.m. That would be 10 o'clock Sunday morning. You can see just leftover rain showers. So any loading that could take place back here will have unloaded pretty quickly, and we're not looking at enough precipitation to really make it a worthwhile stab anyway. So from here on out, snow loading issues for our utilities are over with and will be discounted. Okay, so to advance the zoom in here, you can kind of see that it's mixed with sleet, little minor bits of freezing rain, and then the precipitation moves on out. The snow is pretty much over by 7 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, and then a little bit of scattered leftover rain showers. Now, as we get this upper level trough, as I described, it's going to be pushing on east. What you can see is that there's a little heavier snowfall burst that's going to be taking place late in the day on Sunday and then into Sunday night, and begins to sort of wind on down with scattered flurries. Now we're well into the day on Monday. It looks like the flurry action is going to linger a little bit longer into Monday night before it completely falls apart. A little bit of a northwesterly flow and also just a bit of a cool down. Going to look at the 10 to 1 snowfall ratios here as I run the model, and as we get a little bit closer, you can start to see some of that snow just start to get into southern Green Mountains. This is valid about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. And you can see really just not enough snowfall. This is valid about midnight, and then now we're into 1 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. And you can see that that first part there, before we start to change back to rain, certainly not going to produce a whole lot. Pretty high elevation summit kind of stuff. And unfortunately, this first stab here with these marginal temperature profiles, just too warm. Okay, and we're looking at the NAM model now, and we'll just run this. So it's primarily going to be rain, a little bit of freezing drizzle or drizzle out ahead of it. This is 09Z, so overnight tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, there's going to be a lot of low clouds banked up against the Green Mountains. It's a pretty good case for some drizzle and some freezing drizzle. So when we get the main effect here, this is not going to be until very late in the day. Again, we're talking mostly southern Vermont. So this is valid 1 o'clock on Saturday. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. You can see a little heavier scattered showers here, and some of that is falling in the form of some mixed sleet, a little bit of spotty freezing rain, and you kind of get the picture there. This would be valid about midnight, and NAM thinks it's going to be primarily rain on valley floors. And then once we get a little closer to the actual upper level low, you can see that cold pool begins to push on in. This is valid later in the day on Sunday and into Sunday night as described. But even here, we're not looking at a tremendous amount of snowfall. And last but not least, this is the HREF model, and the HREF model is a good one for high resolution, but it's really coming in a little bit warm, and it's starting to show freezing rain starting to spread up in the southern counties. This would be valid around 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're talking 10 o'clock, and then 11, 12, midnight, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you can kind of see we dry slot, and that is also the nature of the beast. The precipitation that will be falling on Sunday will be easy to get around because it'll be mainly rain, but it'll also be very scattered, and it looks like we dry out considerably. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.